Bismillah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Preacher Moss from Allah Made Me Funny. Today I would like to talk to you about the idea of feeding the needy. Now, a lot of times when we talk about feeding the needy, we kind of think of it in a prose of interaction or crisis. But there's something that's going on in America, that's going on around the world, and it's basically the fact that, people need to refocus the fact that we're servants, and we need to serve those of our neighbors who need not just food, they need education, they need clothes, they need love, they need concern, and they need guidance. Now, I'm bringing this up, and I know this is a little bit of a stretch for me telling jokes on stage, but I remember the time when I was in that situation and I needed it. I'd love to tell you a little story that might correspond to some of these numbers I'm going to give you. A long time ago, my mom and dad split, and it was interesting because when parents separate, there's no money going back and forth for support. And I remember that at a young age, I realized exactly what I'm talking about when my mother allowed me to make lunch. And I made, I'm a young guy now, 10 years old, and I remember I made beef bologna. That's important for Muslims. Beef bologna and tomato sandwiches. And I remember that I made 2 sets of sandwiches. And I remember I had one, and my mother had one. And what was interesting was my mom took her bologna and her tomato off her sandwich and put it on mine. And when I asked her, she said, "Don't worry about it." My mother ate the sandwich, just 2 pieces of bread. And to a young child who's starting, she said, "You know what, baby? You made the best bread sandwich in the world." Now I'm talking about just the level of sacrifice on my mother's part. She didn't want to tell me that we didn't really have enough food for both of us to eat. And why is that important? Because we are the brothers and sisters to one another. If you look at some of these numbers that I presented, it's startling. 1 billion people are hungry. They say every day 25,000 people die from hunger-related diseases. Of course, the majority of them are children. There's 55 million children are malnourished. And I want to talk about even being malnourished because I read a piece of information that said 925 million people in the world are now malnourished. But check this out. It said 1 million people are overweight and thus malnourished too. So we have to bring some synergy to this idea of who we are as a people and how we're going to feed one another. And one of them I like to talk about is what's going on with Islamic Relief in Canada, as well as Seekers Guidance. People, we don't really have time. An old man told me a long time ago, one of the greatest lies a man can tell himself is 1, you're better than someone else, and 2, you have more time. We don't have any more time. Now, I'm saying this because there's a sense of urgency for what needs to happen. And I'm not saying you need to go out and reach into your pockets and pull out money. You do need to do that. But out of concern and love and barakah, especially during this time of the year with Ramadan, I'm going to ask everybody to please go out and search for people who need food. Go out and search for people who need clothes. Go out and search for people that need love or a kind word. It is our duty, not just as Muslims, but as a contingent of human beings, as moderates and servants of this earth, that we go out and we make the place a better place. Now, I don't want to ramble on too much because there are going to be a lot of people making speeches, and I think these people have even better information than I have. But my fact of the matter is, we really can't overlook the fact that we have a duty. Now, legal terms, some people say a fiduciary duty. We do have a fiduciary duty. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not anything. I'm a guy with some small ideas that have big dreams. One of my biggest dreams was to end poverty, and of course, in ending poverty, make sure that people have food on their table. Never let it be said that a mother had to have a bread sandwich when she should have bologna and tomato too. Now, I don't know what you're going to do after you read this or you watch this, but I'm asking people to do something, okay? Money works, but commitment works better. My name is Preacher Moss. God bless. And during this blessed month of Ramadan, of bad breath and stomach pain, I want you to hang in there because you and I are on the same team. The team that's trying to make things better. God bless, and I hope to see you out there soon. Mom, love you for all those bologna and tomato sandwiches. And believe me, as long as I have breath in my body, you'll never have a bread sandwich again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.